back with Teddy now. As we said a few minutes ago, there are some bad teams right now, but we're only 5 weeks in. From a betting angle, Teddy, what do you do with some of these bad teams?
Well, I mean, we talked about losing at the top. What do we do with struggling bettors? What do we do with struggling teams? And I think we need to go through some of these individually.
Okay.
So let's talk about first-year head coaches, I should say, like Las Vegas or Chicago, two teams that are mediocre at best and bad on bad days. When you talk about first-year head coaches, generally these teams tend to fight. They're not teams that are going to quit down the stretch, and oftentimes you can make money on teams with first-year head coaches like Vegas or like Chicago. So teams you want to keep your eye on down the stretch for sure.
Okay.
Teams that have limited quarterback options like Washington tend to continue struggling, especially when we talk about potentially a lame duck head coach for a Washington. So you worry about the teams that have all kinds of QB problems and a veteran head coach that may not stick around. Those aren't teams I'm looking to bet on right away if they're struggling. Rookie quarterbacks like Pittsburgh, all right, those teams tend to get better as the season progresses, but there's always going to be growing pains with rookie QBs. In general, those teams, maybe you want them a little bit more in December than you do in October. And of course, let's not forget teams that just fired their coach, like Carolina with Matt Rule. I don't think Rule's issue was, it wasn't Rule. They have a bad offense. They have a bad quarterback and a bad offensive line, and that's a GM issue. Rule took the heat for it, but oftentimes teams get a bump after their coach just got fired.
When we saw Las Vegas play in Kansas City, and I went toe-to-toe with them, lost a heartbreaker at the end there. From a betting angle, does that signal to you that, maybe that's a team that's worth, throwing some money on later throughout the season?
Of the 5 teams we just talked about, I think Las Vegas is the best one of those 5 teams, and you'll have the most chance to make money with Vegas, assuming the markets don't start overvaluing.
Right. They're on a bye this week, so you can't do that this week, but next week starting to do that.